Marhaba. Hello, once again. I'm American historian Dr. Jack Dempsey. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, and with me is my brother and dear friend Muhammad Jihad Ismael, living in Balaa in Gaza, if you can call that living these days. We have been, I just want to show you a quick photo of Muhammad and his family. This is Lena, Jojo, Dina, and his wife Gada. They live, as I said, in their own home in Bala. And you can see at jackdempseywriter.wordpress.com many photos and pages of Muhammad's writings and experiences in trying to create a better life for his family there. And that takes me to mention that we have a GoFundMe going for Muhammad and his family to try to help their emigration out of the hell that Gaza has become. That is called Support Muhammad Ismael and His Children, and it's at GoFundMe. Support Muhammad Ismael and his children. You'll find links to both these things I've mentioned in the comments here under more. So thank you very much for being with us again. And in the last couple of programs, Muhammad, we've been talking a lot about Hamas in a way that almost no one else does because they don't seem to have their feet on the ground as you do, watching for years the different ways that Hamas has offended against the Palestinian people. And I'd like to point out one other thing. This is the cover of Muhammad's book called Tomorrow Will Answer: Horror and Hope in Palestine. If you want to find out in detail his observations about Hamas, you can go to that title here at YouTube and find a full four-part allowed reading of the book. It is a remarkable piece of work that sympathizes with all sides, hopes for the coexistent humanity that reigned in Palestine before 1948, and points some ways that we might actually get there. So enough with my intro, Muhammad. How are you, brother? It's great to see you. And we're going to talk further about Hamas and the what you call civil war going on in Gaza right now. Most people don't realize. Anything you'd like to say right up front, brother?
I am so happy, brother, to have this opportunity and to meet with you today in order to talk about this important issue. Unfortunately, it is forgotten. No one is paying any attention to this important issue.
Well, let's pose the basic question of what we're discussing here. You've been telling me for quite a long time, before the war, that Hamas is also fighting not only Israel and the IOF, but citizens of Gaza, families and clans, affiliations of families in Gaza, because those people are looking for revenge against Hamas for the murder of their children almost over 20 years ago. Why don't you, and this is happening with gunfire, hand grenades, hand-to-hand combat in the streets virtually every day. Hundreds of people have been killed, injured, and the media, because they're so busy making heroes of resistance out of Hamas, have totally overlooked, the completely nihilistic strategy that Hamas has presented the Palestinian people with without ever consulting them about the war that they wanted to launch against Israel, and its absolute inability to ever affect Israel or to destroy Israel as everyone runs around with their hair on fire screaming, and B, the terrible results, as you can see, that Hamas and its policies over years, the hellhole that they have made of Gaza for the Palestinian people. So, Mohammed, take us back to the beginning of Hamas in Gaza around 2005, 2007. How did this organization really get started, and what was the source of their conflict with Palestinian everyday people? How did they get started, and what began the fighting?
Yeah, I will take you back to the 90s of the last century. We have the Oslo Accords. According to the Oslo Accords, we have PA, the PA should be replacing the Israeli authorities here in Gaza and the West Bank.
Hmm?
In the middle of the 90s, PA has attended to Gaza and West Bank, and they started to rule the Palestinian territories. Unfortunately, everyone knows very well that PA was making
Oh, I think Muhammad, oh,
bad
here we go.
corruption. They used to make big corruption.
And
Yes,
still does.
they used to make big corruption. Yeah, they used to make big corruption. Yeah, they used to loot millions of dollars, and they used to send those millions abroad in order to buy real estates in Jordan, in Turkey, in Egypt, and elsewhere.
This is money that was
People
coming, this
started,
is money that was coming from international sources, you say. In other words, it was money that was meant
yeah,
to help, money that was meant to help the Palestinian people, but they steal it, the PA, back in those days
yeah,
as Hamas was beginning as an alternative to the PA then?
yeah. People started to think about the alternative. We need an alternative because we are so exhausted from the corruption of the PA. In that time, Hamas has appeared on the surface, and people started to look to Hamas as an alternative. Maybe Hamas will compensate us. Maybe Hamas will give us a good opportunity to live in a better life, to have a better future. So people started to support Hamas. Yeah. After
Yes,
that,
and a reason for that support, Mohammed, as you've told me many times, is that
yeah, yeah,
when money from Israel was helping Hamas to become important as a way to divide the Palestinian people between the West Bank and Gaza, the Hamas operatives were able to help provide health care, some food, some supplies, some jobs, that they were doing positive things for the people at first. And then what happened, Mohammed?
yeah, exactly. You are right. Yes. They used to make very big social work in the education, in the health, in the welfare, etc. So they started to win the hearts of the people here in Gaza. After that, we had the election, the parliamentary election. This
2005,
election,
two,
2000 and
2006?
yeah, 2006,
Okay,
Hamas won the election, and
okay,
they won the majority in the parliament. We call it here the legislative council. Yeah, they won the majority of the parliament. Yeah.
okay.
Uh, yeah, just 1 year before, 2005, Mahmoud Abbas won the election, won the
President,
election, and he became the president. Yeah.
yes,
So now we have two powers. Abbas is the president. He is
of
the
the
chief of
PA,
Fatah, and
yes,
yes, PA. And on the other hand, we have Hamas controlling the majority, the vast majority in the parliament.
yes.
Now we started to witness conflict between the two powers. Now we have two different ideologies, two different political programs, two different agendas. Yeah, to witness for history, to witness for history, to tell you the truth, PA PA members are looters, are gangsters, are thieves, but they are not bloody. PA personnel, PA members are not bloody. They doesn't kill, they doesn't murder. Unfortunately, Hamas members are professional killers. They are professionals. They kill, they murder, they slaughter, you know. We witnessed the civil war, the early civil war, which erupted in the 2006, and it lasted 1 year. So it lasted until June 2007. During this 1 year of fight, during this 1 year of conflict, we have more than 1,000 Palestinians were killed. More than 1,000 were
By
killed.
Hamas.
Most of them, most of them, more than 90% of them were killed by Hamas. Hamas
Why?
used to commit ugly atrocities,
Why
throwing
did
the
Hamas
people
kill them?
from the high stories, slaughtering the people, exploding them with the RPG, you know,
Why
killing them in a very, yeah,
why was Hamas
yeah,
killing so many people?
yeah, because they are professional killers.
No, but why did they
They
pick
have,
out why they like to kill? It's that simple. There was not a political reason. Were the families, the people
they
that they
wanted,
killed against Hamas?
they wanted to, they wanted to make monopoly over all the political system. They
Okay.
wanted to make monopoly. Yeah, they wanted to have everything between their hands, to control everything, to control the ministries, the troops, the finance, everything in
Yes.
Gaza.
And the culture, you've
So
told
they
me
wanted,
the
yeah,
culture also they wanted to control. You've told me many times that Hamas outlawed many cultural and civilizational things that the Palestinians were very proud of. The ancient ruins, the ancient gods of Palestine. Hamas did not want people to know anymore about these things. So there were people in Gaza, Muhammad, who were against Hamas for these reasons, and Hamas murdered them. That right?
yeah. People got astonished. They had a big shock because Hamas, which was giving food, giving medication and medicine, and making minor surgeries for free without money. Hamas, which was doing all this welfare for free, now Hamas is so violent. Hamas is very aggressive, and in addition to the killings and murders, they used to take thousands of people to the prisons. It was a very shock for the people here in Gaza. They
And you
used to
yourself,
see
you yourself were
the real
arrested
face
once,
of
right?
Hamas. Yeah,
You
yeah,
yourself were arrested once, right?
yes.
And you said they beat you? They beat you up?
Yeah. They used to arrest anyone who criticize. You are not allowed to convey a contrary opinion, a contrary point of view. You should not talk. You have only to say amen, amen,
Yes,
to nod
yes.
your head and say amen. Yeah,
Okay, so the people that are fighting in the streets now, Muhammad, there's no food. There's very little food, very little water, very little medicine. Everything is destroyed. And on top of all this suffering, the families now are looking for revenge revenge for the family members that were killed by Hamas because they feel that Hamas is now weaker and demoralized. So the families bring out their guns and attack the Hamas forces. Is that right?
Yeah. This is part of the civil war which we are witnessing now. Yeah, this is a big part of this chaos.
All right, let me ask you a question to make things very clear. A civil war, the classic definitional meaning of a civil war is a struggle for power in the society. Which way is the society going to go? One side fights the other, right? But this sounds more like vendetta. This sounds more like revenge. It's not about politics and who will lead the Palestinian people, who will get Hamas out and who will lead the people. It's more about revenge for families. Is that correct, Mohammed?
Yeah, of course. We have to tell the people about the normality of our society. Here, Gaza Strip is locating between two deserts. It is locating between Sinai in the south and Negev in the east. So a big part of Gaza population are affected by the Bedouin, by the pastoral nomad culture and the traditions. In the nomad traditions, revenge doesn't die. Revenge can
Yes.
can live for several centuries. So now we might witness, in some cases, some families are taking the revenge of their ancestors. You know,
Yes.
yeah. So we have to look to the culture of the Gaza society. No one in media is talking about this issue.
Because they want Hamas to be heroes of resistance. They don't want to talk about the foolish ideas that Hamas follows. And these are documented in your book, Muhammad. Tomorrow we'll answer the foolish religious and political ideas that ruled Hamas in planning the attacks of October 7th, the foolish military strategy that they were going to attack, as Muhammad says, a nuclear power with a gigantic army and technology, with drones, with sailplanes, with small arms and hand grenades, that they were ever going to get to what? Liberate Al-Aqsa Mosque. They had no hope of doing anything other than seizing hostages, which they did. But after that, look what they brought. They didn't think at all about the Palestinian people. So, Mohammed, when you go out of your house now to get water, to get food or medicine, it's already because of the Israelis taking your life in your hands. You could die any day on a simple errand for your family. Now, how does the fighting between Hamas and the families make that even worse? What do you see of the fighting between Hamas and the families? Who is attacking who?
Yeah.
How many people and all that?
Yes, brother. Yeah. Of course, leaving my house is a big risk. When I leave my house, I expect that maybe I will not return to my wife and the children because it is a big risk. Yeah. And here in Gaza, you have to expect the death in any moment. Talking about the civil war or the civil chaos, nothing is following system. It is a chaos. It is a chaos. You cannot predict who is fighting whom, who is shooting at whom. It's a big chaos.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with our usual technical difficulties in
And
getting a
in
signal out,
most cases, fight.
of Gaza. Mohammed and I are a little bit out of sync here, and we really appreciate your patience. So, Mohammed, how does the fighting between Hamas and the families make your journeys worse? What do you see? Sudden attacks from nowhere. You can never tell where the shooting is going to begin.
Yeah, yes, brother. Fortunately, most of the fight is erupting in the night, in the darkness.
Ah,
In the darkness, Gaza already has no electricity, so Gaza is totally dark. You cannot understand, you cannot know who is shooting at who is fighting whom, you know. So most of the fight is taking place in the night. Maybe to avoid the third part, which is Israel. They don't want Israel to interfere. So mostly the civil chaos fight is taking place in the night. Yeah, but sometimes we have it in the day. Yeah, it is very dangerous, very dangerous. And
yes.
I know many people, especially women and the children, were killed in this fight. They are fighting with Kalashnikovs, with grenades, shooting heavily.
Yes.
A lot of people were killed. So many innocent people just were crossing the street in that moment were killed, unfortunately.
And you know, ladies and gentlemen, the reason behind Muhammad's title, Tomorrow Will Answer, is that sometimes Palestinians say to each other, how can this get any worse? How can this get any worse? And someone will say, don't ask, because tomorrow will answer you. Tomorrow will show you a way. And another way, Muhammad, that this added danger has come to you and to Bala and to Gaza as a whole is that there are now, because of the disasters in Rafah, with the military organization, they're distributing food and also distributing death to hundreds of people in Rafah. There is another Palestinian gang that is headed by a long-known gangster named, I think his name is Hebab, and he is being paid by
Abu
Israel. He is being paid by Israel to try to keep, quote, order among the Palestinians. And if you think that Hamas was funded originally and for a long time by Israel, and now these gangs that are supposed to keep order are funded by Israel, everywhere you look, Muhammad, there's Israeli money. Every side is being
Yeah,
paid by Israel. What does that tell us about what is being done?
yeah. This gang is named Abu Shabab. Abu
Ah,
Shabab gang.
Habab, yeah.
It works in the eastern part of Rafah, and it is funded by the Israeli authorities, either financially or by the weapons. Yeah, let me tell you, it is not the only gang here in Gaza. Maybe it is the most famous because media has decided to shed the light over it. But
Yes.
we have other dozens of gangs. Gaza currently is full of gangs. Yeah, everywhere we have gangs similar to this one.
And
Yeah, they
one of the
are.
main
Yeah,
I was just going to say
yeah,
one of the main things that gangs do
yeah,
is steal. They use brutality
yeah,
to help them steal. Now, already in this program, we've outlined Hamas, the civilian families that are fighting them, and multiple gangs that are all likely to have been stealing food, stealing humanitarian aid from the Palestinian people to put money in their own pockets. All of these groups are taking your life, Mohammed.
yeah, yeah. Yes, brother, you are right. These are the parts of the civil war which we have. They are fighting with each other. But unfortunately, right now, media doesn't accept
No.
to confess that we have civil war here in Gaza. They don't want to confess that we have civil war in Gaza. When you are saying we have Abu Shabaab and other gangs, we have Hamas fighting with the people, we have families are seeking revenge. Why you don't confess that we have this term civil war? You have to say it. You have to be frank with people all over the world. You have to say that we have civil war in Gaza, and every day we have people are being either killed or injured. Right now we have thousands, not only hundreds, were killed in this war. I call it the shadow war. In addition to the war with Israel, we have this shadow war, which is
And
civil war.
yes, and as you have beautifully said before, Mohammed, violence is a poor lawyer for the Palestinians' just cause. Violence is a bad lawyer for the Palestinian people. And that's what all of them are using to get their way. It seems no one is able to learn anything except a historian like you, and except the people of your family and your friends and the community that do understand, that want an end to the fighting, that never wanted October 7th in the first place. They were never asked. And yet Israel tells us that they are all guilty, that they can see no evidence of Hamas and other groups stealing the humanitarian aid. When we see the Israeli soldiers standing like this, watching them do this, they are all receiving Israeli money. All the different sides are receiving Israeli money, and no one will report this.
Yes, yes, brother. Yeah,
And Mohammed, do you think
yeah.
it has anything to do with the fact that, look, I'm in my little office, you are in a basement where it is safe behind those bricks for you to try a broadcast, right? This is not a Hollywood production, our programs. People see you exactly as you are, where you are. But do you think it's connected then to the fact that, Mohammed, you are in Gaza? You are in Bala. You have been in Rafah. You have seen so much and you report so much in our programs. You are there. And all they have with their very fancy Hollywood sets and neon lights and 4 foot tall microphones, all they have is outside experts, other journalists from the world of comfort and privilege and safety. So maybe they don't think you're pretty enough, Muhammad.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. It's totally unfair.
Yes, ma'am.
Totally unfair. Yeah, yes, brother. You are right. I am so happy with this comparison. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, yes, brother. Yeah.
And, it's not even that it's unfair, but it's stupid. It's
Yeah.
stupid because they are feeding the wrong information into the public opinion. They are feeding the wrong information or information with much of the story missing, left out. They are feeding this into the public opinion, into the media, and so nothing can get solved. Only the worst things can
Yes,
happen
brother.
now.
We are. Yeah.
With
Yes, brother.
Israel's general control of the situation now, it seems only bad things can come from now because of the stupidity, the lying about who the players are and what they're doing to each other. This is why we are so worried
Yes,
about you,
brother.
brother.
Yeah. Yes, brother. Yeah. Yeah. You are right. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mohammed was arrested several years ago by Hamas for criticizing them in an article. They put him in jail, they beat him up. He didn't know if he was ever going to get home again, but he did. Since then, Mohammed and yours truly, humbly, have tried to bring out the other sides of this story in Gaza, especially the crimes and foolishness and misguidedness of Hamas. They have been nothing but a bad servant to the Palestinian people. And Muhammad is, I think he's the only Palestinian I know who will talk about this. At what peril, we don't know. But there he is speaking to you. So as our time goes, brother, I want to thank you as always for your courage, which is every day and every night, for all your thinking, your observation. And we hope people will come back and join us again next time for another program. Anything you'd like to say in conclusion, Mohammed? We have a few minutes if you'd like to speak.
Yes, yes, brother. I am so grateful for you for giving me this opportunity. I am trying to give the real voice of Gaza people, to show the real image without fabrication, without adding makeup to the face of Gaza. The face of Gaza is so pale, so exhausted. Gaza is very, very exhausted, suffering a lot. So I am presenting the face of Gaza as it is, without putting the colors and the makeup. This is my duty, my work as a historian. The duty of the historian is to document the facts, not to document the rumors, or the
Yes.
you have, or the lies or the fabrications. Yeah. So now you are taking the news from a historian. I am following the historical system in my work.
Yes, Mohammed, and the proof of that is in part featured on our channel. It's called Dionysus 37 or 37 Dionysus. It's right there in the in the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. But Mohammed and I have done over 60 programs about Palestinian situation, their daily lives, their culture, their history, their civilization, their archaeology, their poetry, on and on. And Mohammed has been there to document it all. If I could choose one program, it's really three. It's Muhammad's account of his ancestral family in a village called Shafir, which is no longer there. It tells you in so many levels and layers and examples of Palestinian life before 1948, where every village had had a mosque, a temple, and a church. Architecture that documents the coexistence among people. If you don't believe that, see another film right here on YouTube called The Land Speaks Arabic. The Land Speaks Arabic, and you will hear the direct memories of people who lived that lifestyle and the changes that came as of 1948 and the great catastrophe, the Nakba. Brother, thank you so much as always for talking with me and with us. I know people around the world will think about your GoFundMe and try to contribute even a little bit, $10. We are getting like 3/5 of the way there to the goal we need to get Muhammad and his family out of there if an opportunity comes. There is no evidence of any programmatic emigration yet. That is a very chilling thought because what else can they do with 2.5 million people? But we shall see. Brother, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Peace on earth through justice. And we'll see you next time.